Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's devotion for April 7th. It's titled The Full Reveal, and the Bible reading is from Mark chapter 6, verses 45 to 56. Immediately after this, Jesus insisted that his disciples get back into the boat and head across the lake to Bethsaida while he sent the people home. After telling everyone goodbye, he went up into the hills by himself to pray. Late that night, the disciples were in their boat in the middle of the lake, and Jesus was alone on land. He saw that they were in serious trouble, rowing hard and struggling against the wind and waves. About 3 o'clock in the morning, Jesus came toward them, walking on the water. He intended to go past them, but when they saw him walking on the water, they cried out in terror, thinking he was a ghost. They were all terrified when they saw him. But Jesus spoke to them at once. "Don't be afraid," he said. "Take courage. I am here." Then he climbed into the boat and the wind stopped. They were totally amazed, for they still didn't understand the significance of the miracle of the loaves. Their hearts were too hard to take it in. After they had crossed the lake, they landed in Gennesaret. They brought the boat to shore and climbed out. The people recognized Jesus at once, and they ran throughout the whole area carrying sick people on mats to wherever they heard he was. Wherever he went, in villages, cities, or the countryside, they brought the sick out to the marketplaces. They begged him to let the sick touch at least the fringe of his robe, and all who touched him were healed. Moviegoers heard the beautiful voice of Emily Blunt as the starring role in Mary Poppins Returns. Amazingly, it was 4 years into their marriage before her husband discovered her vocal talent. In an interview, he revealed his surprise the first time he heard her sing, thinking, "When were you going to tell me this?" In relationships, we often learn new, sometimes unexpected details that surprise us. In Mark's Gospel, Christ's disciples initially started with an incomplete picture of Jesus and struggled to grasp all of who he is. In an encounter on the Sea of Galilee, however, Jesus revealed more of himself. This time, the extent of his power over the forces of nature. After feeding a crowd numbering more than 5,000 people, Jesus sent his disciples out on the Sea of Galilee, where they were caught in a fierce storm. Just before dawn, the disciples were terrified to see someone walking on the water. Christ's familiar voice spoke words of comfort, saying, "Take courage, it is I. Don't be afraid." Then he calmed the raging sea. Upon seeing such great power, the disciples were completely amazed, even as they struggled to fully comprehend this experience of Christ's power. As we experience Jesus and his power over the storms of our lives, we gain a more complete picture of who he is, and we're amazed. How does learning of Christ's power help develop a fuller picture of who he is? Sorry about that, guys. What other stories in the Bible reveal his power? Thank you for joining me for today's devotion, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.